Welcome to BioMAPA's new webinar about new Eurasian Union legislation update for medicinal products. Today we're going to speak about what should be done now for a timely and successful upgrade. Some technical details for the webinar. At the end of the session, we will have questions and answer session, so do not hesitate to put any questions you might have in the comment box, and we will try to answer and to cover all of your questions at the end of the webinar. Prior we jump to the actual topic, I would just like to very quickly remind you about BioMAPAs. BioMAPAs is a clinical, regulatory pharmacovigilance and medical information solution provider, and we're working in global life science industry. Just for you to understand the company's size and the length of experience, the company has been on the market for more than 20 years. Currently, we're covering more than 60 countries across all Europe, all CIS, MENA region. Company has more than 100 customers, and we're working with more than almost, I would say, 300 professionals in the field. BioMAPAs is working across nearly almost across all life cycle of medicinal product or medical device, starting from very early in the development phase. We're supporting with strategical advices, strategical regulatory services, clinical safety, medical monitoring. Then whenever product is going into marketing authorization phase, BioMAPAs is able to support with any required procedure, whether that would be in Europe or in Eurasian region, as well to set up a PV system and maintain it, nominate the European QPPV and as well Eurasian QPPV. Don't forget that it's already required to have a Eurasian QPPV at the time. And when the product is in the post-authorization phase, companies supporting with all those I would call classical regulatory or pharmacovigilance services that are needed to be fully compliant with your product on the market. So that was very quickly about BioMAPAs I wanted to remind you about. And from now on, I will pass the word for our speaker of today, which is Nargis Asgarova, who's our Regulatory Affairs Project Manager for the Eurasian region. Nargis, word to you, and please.
Thank you, Olivia. You already introduced myself, so I'm just only saying hello, everyone. Today's topic is what are the steps for smooth switch to the Eurasian MA for medicinal products. And we will speak about main points to consider when going to upgrade procedure, Eurasian GMP certification, and what is the readiness of the health authorities per country, and as well as what are the readability user testing requirements. As you know, Eurasian region consists of 5 member states, and I will list those by population rate. This is Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, and Armenia. Total population is 179.92 billions, and it should be noted that key markets in the region are Russia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus due to size and GDP, and those countries are also the leading ones in terms of pharmaceutical market, regulatory affairs, regional regulations for medicinal products. There are in total 5 official languages, which obviously have impact on labeling production, and it's also planned to have single regulatory body in future. So let's start with the first topic. Drug product registered in member countries of Eurasia and submitted before end of this year according to national procedures are subject to be upgraded to Eurasian MA before end of 2025. Once MA is granted, transition period for national MA is 180 days for each country separately. The MA is usually issued for 5 years for first year and for the unlimited period for the second time, unless there is a safety issue revealed with the next renewal. In this case, MA will be again issued for 5 years. In case the product was marketed in 3 or more Eurasian countries within the last 5 years, the first MA can be issued for a limited period. National MAs are valid until expiry date, but no longer December 31st, 2025. And however, product maintenance like renewals and variations are possible until end of December 2025. But we need to take into account that for Russia, it may require where applicable national GMP certificates for each manufacturing sites involved into drug product production. The available Eurasian GMP certificates could be used for national MA maintenance as well. Eurasian array procedures still need Eurasian GMP certificates, but the valid national GMP certificates can be still used for Eurasian submission until end of 2024. I would like just to inform that just recently on October 8, 2021, Belarus has approved new regulation to keep national procedures for emergency situation products and for strategic important medicines. List of medicines will be defined still separately, and it's expected to have this MA valid until 1 year. A procedure is not implemented yet, and the guidelines for submission preparation is under development. I must mention that it's applicable only for Belarus, and as per the regulation, in addition to the standard procedure for registration of strategically important medicines, conditional registration and registration in a simplified manner will be also used. Going to the next slide. So it's important to highlight that upgrade procedure should be finished by end of December 2025, because as in some cases it is understood as if the submission is made before end of 2025, it will be possible to continue the process and receive Eurasian MA in 2026, which is not the case. In Eurasian MA, if Eurasian MA is not updated until end of 2025, then only new registration is possible. Since January 2026, all national MAs will be automatically cancelled. So we recommend to submit the dossier for upgrade procedure no later than December 2024, in case only referent member state is concerned, and no later than December 2023, in case more countries are involved. The duration of the procedure for referent member states is 100 calendar days plus 2 clock stops per 90 calendar days. In practice, upgrade procedure can take longer, up to 1 year, especially closer to the deadline. Duration for country of recognition is 90 calendar days plus 1 clock stop of another 90 calendar days. In case of dispute between the countries, there are additional 60 calendar days to solve it. In practice, it may take from 6 to 9 months, so it should be taken into account. So first step is you should start with portfolio assessment, and for this you need to evaluate registration status in all Eurasian countries, conform marketing plan for MAs in Eurasian countries, define and assess product strengths, pack sizes, dosage forms, indications, and define the shared package presentations. As a second step, you need to choose the referent country, and here are some tips. So first is health authority with advanced regulatory experience, which is Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus. Second is health authority with national working scientific advice function. This is currently in Kazakhstan only, however, it is expected also in other countries. And Armenia Health Authority is also supportive with response to questions and providing recommendations. Also, a country with registered range of dosage, pack sizes, forms, and indications should prevail. And country with developed laboratory centers, this is Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus. For example, developed laboratory centers is could be needed for laboratory analysis for specific products, like immunobiological, high-tech bioproducts, and also country with experience in GMP inspection. This is Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan, Armenia. It is recommended to perform Eurasian GMP inspection by referent country. Country with also local clinical trial centers, which are Russia and Belarus. The third step is to evaluate the scope of variations to be done, to include or not into the upgrade procedure. Major variations are recommended to be completed under national procedure before upgrade. Minor variations can be submitted in parallel with upgrade procedure. The list of variations are indicated in Appendix 19 of Resolution 78. Please refer to the latest updated version, January 30, 2020. No dossier harmonization is needed for the countries of recognition. It is important to take into account that in case of different indications registered, the country of recognition will accept only what is registered and justified by clinical data in reference member state. Risk assessment of variations for specific cases should be performed before submission. And also here you can find the variations timelines for national procedure per country that you should take into account within submission strategy development. Next action is to perform dossier gap analysis as per Eurasian requirements. For this, please check availability of CTT dossier for Module 2 and Module 3. Check availability and validity of GMP certificate issued by national and or one of the Eurasian Health Authority. I will remind that national one are accepted until end of 2024. It is important to verify and check all clinical data in terms of Eurasian requirements and availability of clinical, non-clinical justification for stated information in SMPC and PI. There is also specific requirements for Russia to provide local clinical trials for all generic products. This is I have to say that local specificity left from national requirements, but that's still required. And alternative option of GCP inspections at clinical sites may be implemented in future. Also, please check compliance of Module 3 to Eurasian Pharmacopoeia requirements. Eurasian Pharmacopoeia requirements came into force on March 1, 2021. However, it doesn't cover all product types. Thus, for those, it can be referred to national Pharmacopoeia requirements or EU. Despite the requirement to align all products to Eurasian Pharmacopoeia requirements until January 1st, 2026, it is highly recommended already refer to it for Eurasian submissions to avoid the remarks on different local requirements. The next step is to evaluate the list and volume of missing, documents. Here, Module 1, 2, and 3 should be submitted in CTD format, and Module 4 and 5 is accepted in non-CTD format. Fully prepared dossier submitted only in reference country. After completion of expertise and positive decision, registration certificate received, all member countries will accept data via mutual recognition procedure by submitting only Module 1 data. In case of need to check the rest document, respective health authority requests it directly from reference member state. Module 4 and 5 are not mandatory for submission in case of upgrade only in referent member state, as per the point 175.1 of the Resolution 78. As a step 5, you should have the list of missing documents and start dossier development from compiling of Module 1, 4, and 5 until medical and CMC writing. For this stage, it is also good to identify the vendor who will support XML dossier formatting in case no internal software developed. If needed for the doubtful situations, it is recommended to approach health authority for scientific advice. Let's speak now about Eurasian GMP certification and start with timelines. Eurasian GMP certificates required starting January 1, 2021. National GMP certificates are accepted for Eurasian procedure till end of 2024 based on their validity date. No prolongation of national GMP certificate is possible since January 2022. Eurasian GMP certificates can be Eurasian GMP inspection can be conducted by any inspectorate of reference member state. The following sites are in scope of inspection: bulk product manufacturing site, batch release sites, and for biological products, API manufacturing site. As for the regulation, you can refer to decisions number 78, 77. The validity of Eurasian GMP certificate is 3 years and requires further routine inspection. If national GMP certificate is valid, Eurasian GMP certificate can be updated by end of 2024. I would like here also to mention about main differences between national and Eurasian GMP. National GMP mainly were requiring manufacturing and the inspection of manufacturing site in all stages. However, for Eurasian GMP, it's only bulk and releaser and API in case of biological products. Also, national GMPs were mainly product specific. However, Eurasian GMP is site specific. As for the readiness per country, all of them are ready with inspections, except Kyrgyzstan, where it is currently implemented only for local manufacturing sites. Earliest available slots for inspection by Armenia as authority is June 2022. For Belarus is 2023. For Kazakhstan is July 2022, and for Russia is 2023. Summing up, application for Eurasian GMP inspection is recommended for submission already now in order to book the slot. Inspection can be contacted by any Eurasian member states, however, preferably to contact Eurasian inspection by inspectorate of referent member states. National valid GMP certificates of other Eurasian countries can be submitted within upgrade procedure, and validity of national GMP certificates must be not less than end of upgrade procedure. The available Eurasian GMP certificate can be also used for national MA maintenance. It is also considered that joint submission of Eurasian GMP application by different MA holders could be performed for the cases when different products produced in the same manufacturing site. Within next slides, we will speak about readability user requirements. The regulation that you can refer to for the readability user testing preparation is Eurasian Economic Commission Council decision number 88. The testing must be performed in case of upgrade procedure, new registration, in case of PI change, new indications, product status change, RIX OTC, artworks format change, for example, to booklet, or technical change, so as example, layout change. The timelines to perform readability user testing varies from 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the review of questionnaire and PI text by the sponsor, preparation of the mock-up, COVID restrictions, or in case if interim test results are not satisfactory and change in the pill are needed. Procedure consists of several stages. The first stage is pilot testing. It is validation of correctness of the questions. That includes 6 respondents. The second is testing results analysis and implementation of all proposed changes to the leaflet, if any. The next is pre-final testing, where 10 respondents are tested to obtain satisfactory results. And final testing, which is another 10 respondents, verify that this group also met the success criteria. The questions must reflect all the important and complex aspects of the medicinal product use and consist of around 12-15 questions, can be more if needed. The questions cover the search, understanding, and ability of the participant to act appropriately. Yes, no questions are not accepted. The questions should maintain a balance of general and specific issues. For example, as general, it can be the is the measures taken when a dose is missed, and a particular question can relate to an adverse reaction that is inherent drug product. The respondents should be representative of the target population. Different groups of persons, children, elderly, also persons who find it difficult to perceive information in writing or who generally do not use medicines. Medics, nurses, and pharmacists, persons directly working with medicinal products, are prohibited. A success criteria is considerable, so is the following. In case the information requested on the leaflet is understood by 90% of the respondents, and at least 81% of respondents must answer each one question correctly. As a main points to take into account, I would like to mention that it is recommended to perform testing after the health authority request within examination process, as there most likely will be additional comments to the leaflet by health authority. Thus, readability user testing will be required again. So to avoid double cost and effort, it's better to wait for the remarks, then update the leaflet, and then only perform the testing. Here, I would like to point out that in case of external support will be used, the vendor should be defined in advance, as the timelines will be limited by clock stop, and we face the situation when sponsors lost significant time searching proper vendor and put the submission under risk, starting the testing very last moment. In case of not responding on time to LODs or providing not proper responses, it will lead to withdrawal of the application. So it's quite important to take into account those clock stops, which is 90 days, 90 calendar days. It is required to use a final leaflet mockup with same color Pantones, font size and style, and also paper density as the one included in the commercial packaging. According to Eurasian requirements, electronic and paper testing records should be included in the first model of registration dossier, paper leaflet mockup to be added. Readability user testing should be carried out on at least 20 representatives of the population of the country of circulation of the medicinal product. Pilot group here is not included, as you remember, as I mentioned in my previous slides, it is around 26 respondents. So thank you for your time, and if any questions, I'm happy to respond.
Yeah, thank you, Nargis, very much for a very interesting presentation. I hope it was very, very useful for everyone participating here. So right now we are opening floor for questions. So do not hesitate to write it in the comment box. We will try to cover as much as possible. So we will give a couple minutes for you to type the questions. Oh, Nargis, I see already first question for you, so I'm reading right now. If neither valid national GMP nor Eurasian Union GMP is available, however, the application for inspection is submitted, will it be possible to submit the dossier with justification of booked inspection slot?
Oh, no, unfortunately, this is not possible. And that's the reason we highly recommend to apply for the GMP inspection already now and book the slot if it's not done yet.
Mm-hmm. I hope this clarifies your question. There's another one. If the product is intended for upgrade procedure in country of recognition in September 2022, however, the national MA validity is January 2023, is still the renewal required as per national requirements?
So the national MA must be valid until end of upgrade procedure. Considering that in practice it may take longer, as I mentioned, 6, even 8 months for country of recognition, it is recommended to renew the national MA to be on a safe side.
Thank you. Let's see if there's more. For the upgrade in the countries as RMS with no national GMP, what is the rule? For the upgrade in the country.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Countries as RMS with no national GMP, what is the rule?
Okay, so national GMP of one of the other Eurasian countries can be accepted, like Russia, Kazakhstan, or Belarus.
The next one, in case of submission of Model 4 and Model 5 in RMS, as it is in the form of reports, not being aligned with Eurasian Union requirements, how are Models 4 and 5 then submitted in the country of recognition?
So there is no need to submit the dossier to country of recognition. It is submitted through referent member state and transferred to country of recognition via internal system. For upgrade procedure, there is no need to align Model 4 and 5 with the Eurasian regulation. However, in case of extension of registration, like submission in country where the product was not registered before, due to reassessment of the risk-benefit ratio by referent member state, you may be requested for new or additional reports. And additionally, submitted documents must be, in this case, aligned with the Eurasian requirements. But anyway, reference member state conduct the examination and country of recognition only evaluates it.
Okay, let's see more. When adjusting the dossier according to the rules of the Eurasian Union, do we need to update the documents or do we use the documents that were submitted earlier?
It is necessary to prepare a dossier in accordance with Decision 78. If some documents haven't been previously submitted, but they are required by Decision 78, they must be included in the dossier. It may be possible, it's also possible that we can submit just a statement that it is not applicable, but this statement must be in there.
Thank you. There's also a question, in what language should be submitted the CTD?
So it is usually in Russian, but some, so first 3 models in Russian, but some of them can be kept in English still.
Thank you. What agency performs scientific advice? Is it a Eurasian Union Commission?
No, currently it is Kazakhstan in local. However, the rest countries are also planning to have this, and also Armenia is quite responsive to queries and provides the recommendations quite quickly.
There are so many questions. Another one, could you please clarify if registration certificate will expire in July 2026, Belarusian national registration, does it mean that it will be expired anyway in January 2026 based on Eurasian Union rules?
No, all the national MAs will be automatically cancelled since January 1st, 2026. Even if you have it valid still until July 2026, it will be still cancelled. expired earlier.
Use European reader usability test with a bridging report if the SMPC is common in Europe, Eurasian Union. Device.
No, separate readability user test must be performed in local language.
Without pharmaceutical has a registration in Russia. Does that not expire? Will I have to re-register under the new regulation, or I can continue to sell? Thank you.
Well, this webinar is related to medicinal products, but we can definitely assist you if you can send us your question, and I will direct this to my colleague from medical device department.
There's a question, will you be able to share slides? We will be following up with all the participants after the webinar with the recording of the webinar. So you will have the recording and you will see the slides as well. Okay, the next question for Nargiz. Are local clinical trial required for a new MA in Eurasian Union?
It depends on when the local trials, when the clinical trials has been performed. If after 2016, then yes.
Can I start a marketing authorization application by Eurasian Union by Kazakhstan?
So, can you repeat, please?
Product is authorized in Russia. Can I start MAA by Eurasian Union by Kazakhstan?
So if it's only registered in Russia, you have to start with Russia. Otherwise, you can go with registration in Kazakhstan as a separate process and then choose, but it still requires to choose the referent member states, and you can only choose it from already registered countries. So it must be Russia then.
Next question. Thank you for a nice presentation. You're welcome, and thank you for kind words. Regarding user testing, is it correctly understood that the user testing should not be performed prior to MA submission, but only upon health authority request during the MA procedure?
Yes, it is possible. You submit.
Next question.
And
we have
you will
of
be requested within the next deficiency letters, health authority remarks, to have it performed. But in this case, as I mentioned, you will avoid, so to say, double costs and efforts, because in 99% you will definitely receive the remarks to the provided PI text, and having it updated as per the health authority request, it means you will have to do again the testing. So thus our recommendation is to submit and wait for those remarks for the text, and then within this you will be also requested to perform the readability user testing. But just make a note that you have only 90 days to update the PI text as per the health authority request, and also to perform the readability user testing. And I would like to also pay attention again to the timelines of the testing to be performed is minimum 4 weeks, but usually it takes more, so like 4-7 weeks to be considered.
Is it recommended to choose RMS for Eurasian Union inspection? Why, if the rule applies to all members?
Which rules? So the question is not much clear. Maybe Eurasian rules, you mean? So it is, it applies to all countries within the region. So you just choose one, but still it is related to all. The question is not fully clear, also saying, but I hope I responded.
Next question. Is it needed to harmonize whole Model 3 between all countries before switch to Eurasian Union MA?
Yes, you need to do. You need to harmonize the whole Model 3.
Will authorities inspect the manufacturer to grant the Eurasian Union GMP certificate?
Yes, they will do.
Further, we're looking at the questions. Module 4 and 5, can we use the all document format previously submitted in this new submission?
Yes, you can do so.
Based on Eurasian Union rules, is it possible to use multinational, in brackets Russian Kazakh packs? How it will be managed from serialization point of view?
Well, yes, you can use multinational language packs. It is a bit difficult to answer now because it is still in process. And so most likely both numbers will be indicated unless common serialization number will be defined.
In case your national Russian MA is cancelled, as you can't keep the timelines for upgrade procedure, might a new MA be faster evaluated?
No. It will be within the general timelines.
Thanks. Very interesting. You're welcome. Thank you for nice words. Okay, further. The Eurasian GMP certificate is valid for all products manufactured by the manufacturing site or only for those for which the application inspection has been done?
So the Eurasian GMP certificate, can you repeat?
The Eurasian GMP certificate is valid for all products manufactured by the manufacturing site or only for those for which the application inspection has been done?
Clear. No, so as I mentioned, Eurasian GMP certificate is site-based, not product-based, so it will cover all products as such. So to say, if the site was already inspected by Russian authority, and you are submitting it in Armenia, for example, you can use that certificate already because it's site specific, as I mentioned.
Thank you. If some part of Module 3 are missing but authorized, is it acceptable to introduce them with Eurasian Union procedure? Can it be possible to update them? Minor changes.
Can you please repeat, please? It's quite quick.
If some parts of Module 3 are missing but authorized, is it acceptable to introduce? Oh, I'm sorry, just new comments pop and then I lose the text.
Yeah.
Where I was. Is it acceptable to introduce them with Eurasian Union procedure? Can be possible to update them with minor changes.
Well, for those changes, we need to refer to this Appendix 19 of the Regulation 78. If those are within, then yes. If not, then either before or after the upgrade.
Thank you. Does Eurasian Union GMP certificate contains list of pharmaceutical forms manufactured by site?
It should contain, but probably I need to double check this point. If you could just address this question separately, we'll come back to you.
You can also contact us via bd@biomapas.com, and then we can discuss about that question a little bit more in details. One more question still, Nargiz. What are key differences between MRP and DCP procedures? Which one is better to choose when the product is currently registered in Eurasian Union countries?
So,
thank you. Is there any websites where Eurasian
MRP
Union
procedure is preferable in this case because it is currently working better, so to say. DCP is not much since internal systems are not well aligned. The difference is that in case of DCP, it is evaluated and examined simultaneously, while MRP is one by one.
Guidelines and requirements in English can be found?
Mainly those are in Russian. I can't answer now for English text, but we can maybe support. Yeah, you can contact on bd at biomapas.com, and we can support you with the English text. Even if those are not available, we can help you with this.
Thank you. And next question. Do we have to include ECTD documents in all sections in Model 5? Example for Model 5.3.5.3, should this be included if we did not have this document in the previous approval?
So for Model 5 and 4, you can submit the document as it is. In general, if you don't have it, you can also include the statement, the justification why it is not available, or maybe it's not applicable.
Thank you. Our list of manufacturers need to be harmonized prior to dossier upgrade.
No, as I mentioned, no harmonization is required. So basically, you submit in country of in referent member state, and country of recognition should accept it. In case of the questions, they just directly request the document from referent member state. But I would say that in RMS, you better check it all aligned, and the variations are implemented, so it will be easier than for the rest countries to switch to Eurasian MA.
Expected in near future? Oh, that's tough one.
Yes, it is expected somewhere in April. It will be related also to registration of conditional or to the conditional registration, etc. So it's expected around in April.
I see there are still plenty of questions. However, our time is up already. Thank you everyone for participating, and I highly encourage to contact us via bd@biomapas.com. We would be really happy to assist and to discuss further a bit about your concerns, about your questions, and in general to collaborate in the future. So thank you everyone for participating, and I will follow up with everyone who was on the line or registered with a recording of the webinar, so you will be able to watch all the presentation together with the question answer session once again. So thank you, and
Thank you.
bye-bye.